Hello everyone, I am Feyi Martins. Welcome to Heart Affairs. This is your podcast to explore deep emotions that people grapple with daily in the hope to create a safe space to stimulate a more productive conversation about dealing with the affairs of the heart. Before we dive in, feel free to share your story with me. I would love to hear from you. Send me an email, heartaffairsfm@gmail.com, or on all social media at Feyi Martins. Let's begin. This is the very first episode of Heart Affairs, and I'm delighted to introduce to you today's topic. Soulmate. Yes. So, what do you know about soulmates? I'm sure you've heard about the soulmate. A lot of people talk about the soulmate. Teenagers, older people. You just are looking for the one. A lot of people are so interested in having somebody they can share their dreams with, their hopes with, somebody who's going to be there for them, somebody who will love them, will not leave them. It's quite interesting, and it sure feels good to know you can actually depend on somebody. Now, these views of ours when it comes to soulmates, it's predicated based on a normal practice. Surely our experiences, our upbringing, the culture we come from, environment, religious beliefs, our ideas, our learning, among other things. Our views really depend on a lot of these things. Growing up, what was our concept of the soulmate? Now, when we talk about soulmate, we cannot but talk about dependency as well. Either being dependent or independent, or being independent. It is quite key to understand some of the issues that arises from the soulmate. Now, the question will be, were you raised or learned to be reliant, or maybe self-reliant? Let's look at being reliant. Do you believe that people will always be there for you? People will help you achieve your potential? Do you believe that, no one is self-made? That we need people in our lives to help us? Do you believe that you need to stand on the shoulder of giants to see far ahead? Rely on those who have gone before you. Rely on the wisdom. You believe that, there are people who will always help you out. People you can reach out to for sustenance. People who can hold you up. Basically we are saying, I need you. I need people. I'm not self-made. I just cannot achieve things on my own. So that's going to be the first part. People who can, help you through a crisis if you need to. People who can loan you money, be there for you, babysit your children, care about you the way you care about them, listen to you, empathize with you. We're talking about somebody who believes in, something being corporate, family values, togetherness. Yeah, so basically, you can depend on somebody else. That's a view that can shape in, basically, our concept of soulmate. Now the second part will be somebody who was raised to be self-reliant. Some people actually believe, in the end, I'm on my own. In the end, I have to fight for myself. In the end, I have to achieve things by myself. In the end, nobody really will be going to be there for you. Peradventure, people have disappointed you in the past, let you down. People you trusted didn't live up to the expectation, and maybe this hurt lingered, and you concluded, I'm not going through that route again. People just cannot be depended on, so I have to do everything by myself. I have to help myself. I have to help myself achieve my potential. We are talking about people that if you're a boss in the office and you give somebody work and they're not doing it, you do it by yourself. Because you don't, that culture of relying on people is really not strong, and you do not want to be disappointed. When you're talking about this thing, we also have to look at emotional dependency. That was basically general dependency or self-reliant. Now, you can be raised to be reliant and not be emotionally needy or dependent. While one can be raised or learn to be self-reliant, yet is an emotional wreck if the person is alone. I mean, it's a paradox, but if some people feel so strong when it comes to business, strategies, but emotionally they feel totally dependent. Now, there's a feeling of I need a perfect partner, a match made in heaven, someone who will be there for me always, somebody who will make me happy, give me purpose, love me, help me. Somebody when I feel alone, needs to fill the void. Sometimes we have made a soulmate the center of our universe, center of our world. And sometimes we have said to ourselves, you know what? If this person leaves me, I will not survive. That's how much power we are giving to the soulmate or to this person we call the one. And it's difficult for us to accept that people can change or people can have their own issues. I mean, you want to do things together. You don't want to feel alone. When you don't feel included in what your partner is doing, it's a blow to you. I mean, it's like difficult. Sometimes we want them to take away our insecurities, fear, the pain we feel, the validation we need, the hope we need. The above, they're just characteristics of being emotionally dependent on somebody. And having this kind of thinking will make us put these responsibilities on somebody else. Guess who? The soulmate, the one. If this person is not meeting our needs, then you begin to doubt if this person was ever the one. Because you feel, you know what? I thought this was a match made in heaven. I mean, so there are a lot of things that cause this. What's the root of this dependency, this emotional dependency? There's a root. How did the mindset develop? How did we learn to be dependent on others? Probably from when we were kids. Children, especially infants, are totally dependent on their parents and caregivers. Even as kids, we depend on our caregivers to provide for us material needs, food, shelter, clothing. We also depend on others, on our caregivers, our parents, to provide for us emotionally. Like the feeling of being respected, accepted, important, to feel secure, validated, included. Kids, as they grow, learn coping skills to become more self-reliant in many aspects, to stand up for yourself. However, some still become emotionally dependent and reliant, craving validation from others. This need drives us as we grow older to find the perfect match, the ideal one. And sometimes this need hurts even our relationships. The blame game, becomes a coping mechanism. And sometimes the victim mode is activated just to avoid the loss of privilege. And in some cases, whatever hurts us becomes a responsibility of the other. We rely on others for happiness, validation, which really cannot be guaranteed. Because people might have their needs as well, they have their own issues. Then it becomes what I call a clash of needs. The dependence on others for emotional sustenance is not only unreliable, it is unsustainable. The need to guarantee loyalty, trust, certainty from others becomes the very oxygen for sustenance, without which one will be gasping for breath. I'm going to leave us with a few quotes here that I came up with. Can anyone truly be everything to another person? The burden of responsibility that should be for the divine has suddenly shifted to a human. To entrust someone else with taking away our fears is like drafting a civilian into a combat on the war front. There is bound to be casualties. When the responsibility of having meaning is placed on a human, the only form of protest will be defiance. Fated love then becomes jaded. The realization of the perfect being flawed is disillusionment of the heart. It jolts from the ideal to the real. A flaw in character, however, brings to question if the person was ever the one. I thought this was a match made in heaven. When the foundation of a building is compromised, cracks and leaks appear. We can patch all we want. When the pressure mounts, we have no choice but to renovate. So I ask this question: does the soulmate exist? Does the one exist? You tell me. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you know when new episodes are available, and share with your friends. Find me on Instagram at Feyi Martins. Email me your story. I'd love to hear from you. heartaffairsfm@gmail.com. See you next time. Bye.